Now, I was a Nintendo kid growing up. My cousin and best friend was a Sega kid. He lived about 30 seconds across the road from me. Both companies were giants of my childhood. Two companies that provided endless possibilities to what I thought was possible in a TV screen. So it's strange to admit that I got a little emotional as I played through Astros Playroom, and that's because, and this is the biggest compliment I can pay the game I think, Astros Playroom made me realise Nintendo may have been the giants of my childhood, but Sony have become the giants of my adulthood. This is a pre-installed game that's given for free to anyone who buys a PlayStation 5. They'll find it on their console on installation. It's a love letter to all things PlayStation and gaming, and I can't emphasise that last bit enough. Yes, there's a lot of PlayStation fanfare here, but if you're just a gamer at heart, forget about, are you a Sony fanboy, Xbox fanboy, gaming master race, PC master race, whatever you want to call it. This is just for the gamer inside of you. It really felt like a joyous revisiting of the rich history Sony have created in the gaming universe. And maybe this is my fault, but I think I didn't really realise, and it didn't dawn on me, how much Sony has shifted the landscape of gaming until I went on this incredible trip down memory lane with this cute little robot. If I leave you with one message from this review, if you are lucky enough to get a PS5 this Christmas, before you do anything else, the first thing you should do is update Astros Playroom, play it and complete it. It's a short little game. It's basically a tech demo for the joypad as well as a little chest beating by Sony, and it's absolutely beautiful. At my age, I shouldn't be feeling the things I felt when I played Astros Playroom, and it should have made me grin as much as I did. But there you go. So here we go. These are my thoughts on Sony's brilliant Astros Playroom. Okay, so what is Astros Playroom? Astros Playroom is, in simple terms, a 3D platformer by Sony used to showcase the PlayStation 5 and its controller. The DualSense controller, when I first saw it, did nothing for me. After playing Astros Playroom, I've got to say, I'm surprised and impressed. The game is so much more than just a mere tech showcase though. The levels and set pieces are packed full of colour and variety. The music, scored by Daft Punk, in joke, is perfect for the rocket-fueled colours coming your way. It's actually a challenge, and man, let me tell you, if the last 10 minutes of this game do not make you realise why you love gaming, pick up another hobby, go do something else. I was grinning ear to ear. It was an absolute brilliant ride, and I'm smiling just thinking about it. Okay, so the DualSense controller. Sony put it front and centre here to show off its neat tricks. I'm not going to say it all worked or that it was all positive, but overwhelmingly it was brilliant. There are some real wow moments with the joypad, but also some bits that did feel a bit gimmicky or forced. However, just as they begin to feel gimmicky and forced, Sony throw them out the window and bring in some new toys for you to play with. What I will say though, one moment really stood out to me, and I don't know if I don't really want to spoil it, but they ask you to do something with the joypad, and it's cool, man. It definitely made me say wow. So yeah, fair play to them for that. The adaptive triggers allow for you to really feel the world or object that you're interacting with, and this is something that did surprise me. When I first read about the adaptive triggers, I kind of just felt they were a bit of a kind of, PR showpiece. Having used the adaptive triggers brilliantly in Astros Playroom, I'd say they really do have some scope to really immerse you in a game even more. Maybe subconsciously more than, quite in your face, but it definitely worked. There's a moment where you control a spring-coiled robot, and the adaptive triggers, they adapt to the springiness of the robot. It's brilliant, really. And it's definitely something that makes you feel like, yeah, this is a bit next-gen. Time will tell if this feature becomes a defining part of PlayStation 5 gaming, or if it just fades into the background. But it piqued my interest for sure. Going further, the feedback when you walk on glass or sand or a cloud is brilliant. It feels different. You can feel the material in your hands. That's the only way I can describe it. It's a really interesting feature, and one that does have scope to make you part of the world you are in, if it's implemented correctly. When the rain falls, there is feedback from the rain. It's pretty amazing. There's a huge level of fan service throughout the game, with players finding artifacts, in inverted commas, from Sony's past. I gotta admit, I laughed out loud when I found the network adapter. I chuckled when I picked up the PlayStation 2 and saw the Emotion Engine trophy awarded in the top right hand corner of the screen. For those of you who don't know, when the PlayStation 2 was announced, and I still remember the cover of Edge magazine with the Emotion Engine images on it, and it just brought back a lot of memories as a kid getting hyped for the PlayStation 2. Gotta say, Team Asobi Studios have made this game with a lot of love, and it deserves to be loved back. In conclusion, Astros Playroom provides a wonderful jumping off point for the future, while letting us relive the memories that got us to this point from the past. At its core, it's a brilliant 3D platformer invoking the feel of Nintendo's best. Yes, it's short, it's meant to be. If you get every little secret, it will take no longer than 8 hours-ish to complete. If you run through the main levels and just want to kind of get through it, it'll take about 4 hours. But what a fun time it is, and what a brilliant little gift to include with every PlayStation 5. As a DualSense demo, it's effective at showcasing what the future could hold, but more importantly, above all, it's a love letter to the history of the PlayStation. Sony are no longer the cool little upstarts with their funky adverts. They are gaming royalty, and it shouldn't have taken me this long to realise it, but it did.